Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I've created this very bold, bright, orange pinkish look. To know how I created this look, then please keep on watching. First off, to start with the skincare, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Hydrating Moisturizer here. Then for the eye makeup, I'm using the Morphe James Charles palette and taking a light brown from the shade and using it as my transition color. Today I've planned to do a cut crease look, so I'm just taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Tan Sand and just trying to cut the crease so that I can apply a brighter color, and it also shows off really well. So I'm just using this concealer on top of the eyelids. Now as the next step, I'm applying an orange shade from the palette to wherever I've applied the concealer. Now at the outer V's, I'm applying the pinkish shade from the palette. There's a light bright pink in the palette, like a candy pink. I'm just applying that over the crease and the outer V to create depth, but this was not enough, so I went ahead and used another purple, matte purple from the palette. All the three colors are matte. I've not used any shimmers here, so I'm using another purple color to create depth from the palette. Like I've always mentioned, you can always go back and forth with the eyeshadows. Since I used a lot of pink and the purple, the orange faded away, so I actually reapplied the orange. And then here I'm applying my primer. I'm using the Laura Mercier hydrating primer. It's a really nice and blurring primer, and it's also lightweight. And now you know the drill, guys. It's just the regular color correcting and concealing and then foundation. This concealing part, the color correction is as usual, but the concealing part alone I've added a new step in my routine, because I never used to use a concealer before foundation, but now I'm just doing that lately. Now once I'm done with the orange corrector, I'm applying my same exact skin tone shade concealer. Here I'm using the MAC Prolong Wear concealer in the shade NC45. It's a very high coverage concealer, so that this actually makes the orange sink into the skin and blends in, because usually I just straight away go with my foundation on top of that, but it actually changed the color of my foundation. With this extra step, like, it actually blends much more easier. And for foundation today, I just wanted use my ever favorite MAC Studio Fix Fluid foundation in the shade NC45, but I just later realized that I like my Estee Lauder more than this, because the air conditioner was not too good. Like, it was very hot today, and the air conditioner was not able to cope up with the heat outside. So this foundation actually you'll be able to notice that it actually melted off my skin. Even after powdering, it just melts off. That's the only thing I don't like. So this foundation you cannot use if you're not in hot weathers like Chennai weather. It's very, it humiliates you in front of everybody. It's a good foundation. It's lightweight. It's everything perfect, except for the melting part alone. I don't like it at all. So my first place goes to the Estee Lauder foundation. Now for the concealer, I'm using my Estee Lauder concealer in the shade 5W. After blending, I'm just applying my Laura Mercier loose setting powder to set all the concealer. You have to do it immediately after you blend the concealer, because otherwise it'll be too late and it'll start creasing off. So make sure you powder it immediately after you apply the concealer, so that way you can lock in the concealer and it won't move around. So for my brows, I'll be using the Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil in the shade number 5. I'm just filling in the sparse area because I don't have to do much with my eyebrows usually. I don't have very thin, it's like a moderate, decent brow. So I usually just fill in the outer edges and then brush it all together. I don't do anything much with my eyebrows, and I don't like using pomades because maybe I don't know how to work with it. So I use these kind of pencils. Now moving on to the bronzing part, I'm using the Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade Deep 4. It actually doesn't show up much, but then it creates a depth to the skin where it's not very harsh, but it blends into the skin. That's what I really like about this. I feel the NYX does a better job, but it's much more pigmented, whereas this one you can actually build up, which is nice. In just one thing, it won't look harsh. You can blend it however you like, and it'll still look natural. I'm just using around the nose as well, sides of the nose, so that it looks slimmer. And I wanted to wanted my blush to look matching to the eyes, so I went with the liquid blush from NARS in the shade Dolce Vita. Now I'm blending this. This is a matte blush, so it won't have any shimmers. I'm blending it towards my inner apples. Usually this way of doing it will actually make your cheeks look much more bigger and fatter. So people who wants the face to look chubby, like people sometimes have a very thin flat face, so those kind of people can do this technique. They can bring in the blush towards their nose, so that the apples of the cheeks look much more plumpier. Here you can see that my cheeks already look, it makes me look more fatter than what I am. Now I'm doing reverse contouring to just clean up the contours. Now for the highlighter, here I'm using the Ofra highlighter in the shade Rodeo Drive. It's a universal universal shade, like anybody can use this shade and you'll still look so gorgeous. It gives you that wet and dewy finish. The whole powder itself gives you that wet look. And yeah, I just added some lipstick here. I used the Wet n Wild lipstick in Gimme Mocha. That's my nude shade, and I love it. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Meet you in another one. Bye guys.